Good morning and thank you for joining us. This is the weather hazard briefing for Tuesday, July 22nd. Some key points this morning. We do have another round of isolated showers and storms expected later today, with gusty winds and lightning being the primary concerns with those. And then as we get into the middle and later parts of the week, above normal temperatures and limited precipitation chances expected. Looking at the satellite from across the Pacific Northwest this morning, you can see some low and mid-level clouds still in place across the area this morning, and still even getting some showers and a few rumbles of thunder across the far southeast corner of the region this morning with some of those showers. But things will dry out a little bit here over the next few hours as we get towards daybreak, with that other round of showers and storms expected later today. So that's really the main area of concern on our weather risk outlook. We will have a couple of days here over the rest of the week with some very isolated precipitation chances, mainly across the higher terrain as we head into the middle and later parts of the week, with most of the area expected to remain dry. Temperatures today will remain on the cooler side of normal today, while they will trend upwards here over the days ahead. But with some continued cloud cover in place across the area, things will be on the cooler side, and as such, those afternoon RH values will be a lot higher than they were yesterday and the day before. So not expecting too much in the way of fire concerns today outside of those isolated storm chances. Winds as well will be slightly lower than what we've seen the last couple of days, although they'll remain breezy. This will be the last of the breezier days, with those strongest winds focused across the Arco Desert and parts of the upper Snake Plain. But these two will start to lessen as we progress through the week and high pressure builds back over the area. So we do have kind of a 15 to 20% potential for some isolated, mostly dry showers and storms. I don't think we'll get much in the way of precipitation, although a few drops of water may reach the ground from time to time. For the most part, these will be of the dry variety, but they will produce some gusty winds and certainly some potential for some lightning strikes as well. As we get into the day tomorrow, this is when temperatures will start to creep back closer to normal, although they might still be a degree or two below normal, but that will change here over the days ahead. But we will start our warming trend nevertheless, and as such, those minimum RH values in the afternoon will start to drop accordingly here as we get into tomorrow. Like I said, winds will start to taper off a little bit as we get into the rest of the week, so not much of a concern there. And this precipitation chances remain quite low here over the next few days. You can see as we get into Thursday, those temperatures, we get some lower 90s starting to return across portions of the area. Again, as we'd expect, those minimum RH values do kind of hover around that 15 to 20% for a good portion of the forecast area. And as I mentioned, those winds start to come down as we start to feel that influence of high pressure. So although our relative humidity values will start to go down here over the days ahead, we're not expecting really any significant synoptically driven winds, at least here over the next couple of days. Again, we do have those isolated thunderstorm potentials a little bit each day across the higher terrain areas, but for the most part, most of the region is going to remain dry. As we get into Friday, this is when Friday and certainly into the weekend when our temperatures really start to trend upwards, as forecast models are showing a pretty strong area of high pressure developing well to our east across the Central Plains states, and temperatures will start to warm up accordingly as that feature kind of settles in and we're on the far western edge of it. So as you can see, those relative humidity values kind of in the 10 to 20% range for most of the area on Friday. And you can kind of see the big bullseye here on the 6 to 10 day outlook. That's generally where the models are showing that area of high pressure settling across the Central Plains. So again, we'll be on the western edge of it, but models do show some potential for mid and maybe even some upper 90s as far as temperatures are concerned for our lower elevations as we get into maybe the early to mid part of next week. So still a little bit of uncertainty that far out in time, but basically it does seem like we will remain well above normal for temperatures and below normal precipitation chances here for the rest of July and into the first few days of August as well. So that's really all I have this morning. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.